What if your child's regulation does not start with your child? You have watched your child go from totally fine to full meltdown in 10 seconds flat. You have tried the deep breaths, the calm down corner, the sticker charts, the therapy waitlist, the parenting books, and every strategy that promised to help. Maybe some of those help for a little while, but nothing seems to hold for long. So what if something deeper is happening? What if your kids are not just reacting to the moment, but also mirroring the nervous systems around them? Now, this is not about blaming parents, not even a little bit. This is actually about biology, because while we may not be throwing ourselves on the floor or having the big, loud meltdown that kids are having, that does not mean that our nervous systems are fully regulated either. So a dysregulated adult nervous system can look like living on caffeine, running on broken sleep, holding tension in your shoulders, snapping back when you didn't really mean to, feeling like you are one small thing away from completely losing it, and being completely tanked by the end of every single day. And here's the part most parents' books do not talk about. Your child can feel that before you even say a word. Their nervous system is constantly reading yours. Your heart rate, your breathing, your stress hormones, your tone, your pace, your presence, and even the tension. Your body all becomes part of the environment their nervous system is trying to organize around. So when you are running in survival mode, your child's body may feel that as well. Again, this is not about shame. This is about science. And once we understand what is really happening between your nervous system and your child's, we can stop trying to fix every behavior from the outside and then start supporting regulation from the foundation up. Because sometimes the real secret to your child's regulation is not another chart, it's not another strategy, another evaluation, or another therapy added to the schedule. Sometimes the missing piece is helping the whole family's nervous system feel safer, calmer, and more connected. So this video is for the parents who have done all the right things in all the right orders, but still feel like they are white knuckling it through dinners, drop-offs, bedtime, and the everyday moments that should not feel this hard. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about why your nervous system is part of the foundation for your child's behavior, what co-regulation really means, why it is biological and not just behavioral, how the perfect storm may have shaped mom and dad's nervous systems too, and why scanning and adjusting the whole family can change the entire dynamic at home. And this is why the conversation around family regulation matters so much. So nearly 1 in 5 children today is struggling with mental, emotional, or a behavioral condition. But what most clinical conversations still miss is that children are not regulating in isolation. Their nervous systems are constantly taking cues from the nervous systems around them, especially mom and dad. Studies on co-regulation show us that children can sync with their parents through things like breathing patterns, muscle tension, stress responses, and even heart rate variability. In other words, your child's body is not just listening to what you say, it's actually reading how safe, steady, or stressed your nervous system feels. We have seen this play out in real life. We had a mom, we'll just call her Sarah, and her 6-year-old son who came in struggling with daily meltdowns. After 12 weeks of his care, those meltdowns had dropped from daily to weekly, which was a huge step forward. But it still felt like there was another layer we had not fully reached yet. That is when his PX doc suggested scanning mom as well. And when we looked at Sarah's scans, her nervous system pattern looked almost identical to her son's. Once Sarah started care and her own regulation began to improve, the whole family dynamic started to shift. His remaining meltdowns went from 2-hour battles to about 20 minutes. And his teacher even told Sarah he was like a different kid. That is the power of looking at the whole family, not just the child who is showing the biggest symptoms. Sometimes the breakthrough is not about adding one more strategy for your child. Sometimes the breakthrough comes when the nervous system inside the house finally begins to regulate together. So co-regulation is not just a parenting strategy. So it's a biology. Your child's brain is wired to read and to mirror the nervous systems around them. Through things like mirror neurons, breath rate, muscle tension, heart rate, tone of voice, and facial expression, your child's body is constantly asking, am I safe here? And one of the biggest ways their nervous system answers that question is by reading your nervous system. When you are regulated, your child's body has a pathway back to calm. Your steady breath, your softer tone, slower pace, and grounded present all become signals of safety. Their brain and body can begin to follow your lead even before they fully understand what is happening. But when your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, your child can feel that as well. And not because you are doing anything wrong. This is not about being a bad parent or not trying hard enough. This is autonomic. It happens beneath conscious thought. It is how human nervous systems were designed to connect, protect, and survive. This is why so many parents feel frustrated when the right words do not work in the middle of a meltdown. During big emotions, your child's language brain is often offline. They're not looking for a lecture, a long explanation, or the perfect parenting script. Their nervous system is looking for a regulated nervous system to borrow from. And that brings us to something most parents never think about. Mom and dad have a perfect storm history as well. The same layers of stress that can shape a child's nervous system can shape yours as well. Prenatal stress, birth trauma, childhood stress, injuries, surgeries, chronic illness, emotional stress, lack of sleep, years of go mode, and constantly pushing through all leaves a neurological footprint. Now, over time, chronic stress can become so normal that you stop noticing it. You may not feel like you're in fight or flight because it has become your baseline. You may not feel busy, tired, tense, overstimulated, impatient, or like you cannot fully shut off your brain. But to your nervous system, you can still be in overdrive. And a stuck nervous system in overdrive has a hard time modeling calm, no matter how much you love your child or how hard you are trying. Again, this is not blame. This is awareness. Because once you realize your nervous system is part of the environment your child is regulating inside of, the goal is to no longer be a perfect parent. The goal becomes helping your whole family's nervous system feel safer, calmer, and more connected. That is why your calm is one of the most powerful forms of support your child can receive. When a parent's nervous system becomes more regulated, their child's nervous system has a clear template to follow. Your steady breathing can become something their brainstem begins to copy. Your hand on their shoulder, your slower exhale, your soft tone, and your quiet presence can speak louder than any words you could say in that moment. In the middle of a meltdown, less talking and more regulation often go much further. Because when your child is overwhelmed, they are not trying to be difficult. Their brain and their body are trying to find the pathway back to safety. And your regulated presence can become their roadmap home. So this is why we believe so strongly at looking at the whole family, not just the child who is showing the biggest symptoms. At E320 Chiropractic, we use our INSiGHT scans to measure how each nervous system is functioning and adapting to stress. We look at things like heart rate variability, neurospinal tension, and patterns of autonomic dysregulation so we can better understand what is happening beneath the surface for each family member. Because sometimes the child with the meltdowns is not the only nervous system that needs support. Sometimes mom is stuck in overdrive. Sometimes dad has been running in survival mode for years. Sometimes siblings are feeding off each other's stress without anyone realizing it. But when we support the whole family through gentle, neurologically focused chiropractic care, we are helping each nervous system move toward better regulation, clearer communication, and more capacity. And as that happens, the home can begin to feel different. Siblings stop triggering each other quite as quickly. Bedtimes get easier. Mornings may not feel like a battle zone. Parents feel less reactive. Kids recover from big emotions faster. The whole family begins to breathe a lot easier because families do not regulate in isolation. Nervous systems are connected, and when the whole family begins to heal together, the entire dynamic at home can start to shift. You cannot pour calm from an empty cup, and your child does not need you to be perfect. They do not need another parent carrying guilt, pressure, or the weight of trying to hold everything together alone. What they need is a nervous system in the room that has the support and the capacity to help them find their way back to calm. And that starts with looking at the whole family. So at E320 Chiropractic, we scan the whole family because co-regulation is biology, not behavior. We want to understand how each nervous system is functioning, where stress is being held, and how we can help your family move toward better regulation together. We're not here to replace the parenting strategies, the therapies, the routines, or support you already have in place. We're here to help unlock them by supporting the foundation underneath it all, which is the nervous system. So if you are tired of white knuckling your way through parenthood and ready to start healing together, we would love to help you take the next step. So you can click the link in our bio, you can send us a direct message, or you can book directly through our website to get started with E320 Chiropractic today. Your family deserves hope, your family deserves help, and you do not have to do this alone.